All right.
Cool. So, welcome back. If you watched until the last few seconds of the last clip, you might have noticed there were a few problems. So we are here at a different location down at Revolver's Lane instead. It's me once again, Deb.
Bryce, hello.
We're going to continue on with our session from last time, whenever I end up releasing that video. And we'll continue with actually breaking down the song. Last time was a little bit more about the background and how we got to know each other, but this time we're actually getting to the nitty-gritty, more sound engineer and musician stuff. If you haven't yet, please do check out my track, because otherwise I don't think this is going to make a lot of sense if you don't listen to the track beforehand. But
it's not going to make a lot of sense. If you don't stream it, yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. I got that one. We'll start breaking down the song. As I think I mentioned briefly last time, the song had 3 sections. And so we're going to talk about the first section first. When I had met up with Bryce to talk about mixing this and what we wanted and what I wanted it to sound like specifically, the kind of musical landscape that I was imagining was very much a kind of intimate bedroom vibe, and it does get portrayed in like the very scarce instrumentation of the moment, but in particular the way that I had envisioned it was, you know, when you're a little bit regretful or remorseful about someone and then you spend so many nights just in bed and thinking and, you know, questioning and just a little bit delulu maybe, but that's kind of environment that I built. And the way that I lyrically kind of supported that is that a lot of the lyricism in it is actually rhetorical questions that you wouldn't actually be able to answer. When I delivered that to Bryce and I said all of this kind of like broad, not quite audio specific things, how did you process that information? Interpret.
Yeah. Well, I prefer that language and that way of describing things.
Oh, yeah?
Rather than you telling me, I want it to sound like this at 100 hertz and then this at 10,000 hertz. And I'd rather interpret the emotion that you're trying to portray and then use my tools, knowledge, and skill to try and encapsulate that emotion.
That means you have more creative freedom, I suppose, in that way.
Yeah,
to a degree, versus being pinpoint about hertz. Not that I would know how to do that anyways. As I mentioned before, that was the environment we were building, and there are a few layers that Bryce added to achieve that, and I think one of the most important ones is this, what we're calling the atmosphere layer, which has quite a few bits, and it sounds like this right at the beginning. Cool. Do you want to talk about this Atmos layer?
Totally. Well, did we talk about first removing like 100 guitars in the introduction? Yeah, so first we stripped back, I don't know, how many, four guitars?
Yes, so the original version, not the original version, but the demo version that I had given to Bryce had about, I think, 6 guitars at the beginning. There was a left hand and a right hand, and then there was the lead line that you hear that was actually being played as a separate layer. But instead, shout out to Toby, what Toby has done instead is put it all together, because he's just built like that and could not be me. And it makes it just one guitar instead.
Which makes sense. It's you in your lonely room with one guitar, not trying to like play 6 guitars at once. Just trying to create an image of like this one person in a room alone, reflecting on life's been in this endless motion for a long time.
Wow, that was really smooth.
Yeah. And that was, I guess, the inspiration for the Atmos layers. So I've put in quite a few different layers of some thunder, some city rain, some wind, some more rain that I recorded on a rainy day in winter. And it was trying to imagine like what it would be like in that room by yourself. It's probably not like bright and sunny day. Instead of just having a room tone, can we capture an atmosphere of the environment outside the room as well? And
and that was actually something that I didn't really think of. I remember when Bryce was like, yeah, let's get rid of all the guitars. I was like, in my head, I knew he had a point because he told me his reasoning, and I was like, he's right, but I feel naked without it. But that's kind of like the point. It's supposed to be a very intimate and, you know, raw beginning. But that was one of the first layers, the Atmos layer. We removed the guitars, which creates the second layer, which is a singular guitar rather than 6 guitars. And then the last thing is the way that I recorded my vocals for this section. So I actually wasn't in contact with Bryce when I had like literally recorded it. This, as we mentioned in the last video, is part of a uni assessment that I was doing. So I was recording it at home on my very untreated room on my SM7B that didn't have a cloud lifter, so I had to like chuck the gain up pretty high, and you could just really hear everything that was bleeding through. And where I live as well, there's airplanes that just fly by, so it was a very painful recording experience, I remember, because I would have to like pause till the planes go by, or pause when a bird just chirped really loud, that kind of thing. But in its own way, it had, you know, added to the whole intimate and, you know, raw aspect of what we wanted, which is a bedroom vibe. And, you know, it doesn't get as bedroom as a untreated bedroom, I suppose. It's kind of the way it's going. After I recorded that, I gave it to Bryce, and he chose to keep those original recordings. Onwards from that, we reached into the chorus. For the most part, the elements are the same. Was there anything you added in the chorus from the verse that wasn't there?
Yeah, let's have a look and see.
So one of the things that I did do to, you know, differentiate it just a little bit musically is in the verse, the lyrical rhythm is quite consistent, minus the end where it just like, and I call your name, lets the guitar breathe a little bit. When it comes to the chorus, when I sing on, which I'm not going to attempt right now because I'm not warmed up, the guitar actually matches that, and it just sustains for a while and just really suspends you into the space. Is kind of the aim that I had when I was writing it. And I hope that effect worked out as you listen to it. But you said you did some stuff to my vocals?
Yes, just some parallel processing to get that sparkle and top end.
You said parallel processing, and I'm like, I'll pretend like I know what that is.
But basically, it duplicated the lead vocal, which is this, and sent it to a bus, and it's called Parallel Bright, and high passed it, and then also I compressed it beforehand, and it basically just squashed your vocals and made it sound really airy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that differentiated your vocals from the verse and the chorus. It just sort of opens up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you have a listen to it, maybe you can
We can
hear it.
play it one more time.
Can you hear that, yeah?
Yeah. I honestly thought it was just, what's the word for it? Like my sibilance was just like extra loud, unknowingly. But now that you like mentioned that too, and if I think about like the original recording, yeah, it's different.
Yeah. I said to Deb, how did you record the original vocals? It sounded like you were like talking into a sock or something.
Yeah, which I basically was, because if this is the mic, right,
Yeah.
I was kind of singing with it like basically up to here, and that's gonna look a little bit suspicious, but that's on you and not on me, okay? But that's how I was singing, and that kind of ruined a few of the frequencies that you kind of wanted to capture, right?
It gave me some issues trying
Yeah.
to work with your vocals.
Yeah.
It was just very, very dull, and yeah, I had to do a lot of processing to get them sounding a bit brighter. Still in that room, like environment, but
Yeah.
just a bit brighter.
Yeah, and
Which
matching
took a
the
lot of-
environment more too, really.
Yeah, you can have a look at all my plugins.
Yeah, let's do it.
As you can see, there's a lot of different tracks here. This was the original lead vocals, and then as the song goes on, we had to re-record the chorus here and then a new lead here and stuff. But basically it all routes into a master vocal chain here. So basically I process the vocals, the audio file, some compression, some EQ, getting rid of some resonant frequencies, some more EQ doing nothing, or maybe it's automated. It's probably automated. And some more, I guess you can call it dynamic processing. A lot of air with this, and some more air, and then that goes into this plugin, which I'm pretty sure I used the pull tech for more air.
Classic.
No, I got rid of some more low end.
Probably from my room, hey?
Yep, and from being so close to the mic. And then some 2 DSs. And to get rid of the sibilants from adding all that air. And then some harmonic saturation. I got rid of some more resonance. So that's a problem. As you add more air in the top end, you also boost those nasty resonances at like 6K. So that was, a lot of dipping through that. And that's probably some more automation on the EQ, where there's just certain words that you say and certain notes that resonate more in the room. So when those words happen, just dip the EQ on those words.
It's really intricate.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you go.
All right.
I would have never thought, honestly. But that is the end of this little section. Who would have thought there was that much thinking? I wouldn't have, because it wasn't my problem, it was his problem. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the last 2 that we've got coming up. It's definitely going to be a little bit lengthier because there is a lot more that goes on in the second portion. Otherwise, that was part 2 of our Mix and Master series and part 1 of this song, aka the bedroom portion. See you guys soon.
New environment for the next section.
There you go. And hopefully no recording problems. Cool.